Hey guys, welcome back to
Real Scenario.
I will freestyle for you, but I'm not going to embarrass myself
Okay.
right now.
Yeah, let's don't.
No, how you doing,
You're
Rhonda?
too cool for that.
We are too cool. Well, welcome back. Before I ask Rhonda how she's doing, welcome back to the show. If you are a real lover, thank you for joining us again. If you want to join the Real Lover gang, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all the things that mean a lot to you. Or mean a lot to us, but are free to you.
And they should mean a lot to you too if you really gang.
That's sure. You watching and you can just click a button while you watching.
Please.
Easy to do.
Thank you.
Easy to do.
Thank you.
And make sure you check out the new shows that are coming. Well, not the new shows. The new shows, that's the old shows that's revamping the old shows. So it's Bree and I with Smith's On Demand and our stuff and Worth the Wait. And then you have For the Girls coming back in February. And then make sure you sign up for our community wait list so that we can interact with you in multiple ways.
Yeah, everything Dre said.
Yes. How you doing, Rhonda?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Blessed and highly favored. Can't complain.
Amen.
Trying to stay warm.
Yes, it's getting it's a little warmer, but it's still brick.
Yeah.
It's still brick. It's still cold.
I mean, the good thing is about this area is that we do get winter, right? Which I think is nice. Some people don't like 4 seasons, but I think I like the, when it gets a little cooler, the snow, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think we have about like a month and a half of horrible.
Yeah.
Because we're about there, and when it gets to February, it's gonna be bad. But then once you get into March, it'll start to
really phase out.
Yeah,
and
really
you will
phase
really
out.
start coasting in the spring.
Yeah, I'm cool, honestly, with not that I prefer this, but 35 and up, I can do it.
Yeah.
When it start getting to 18.
Yeah. I remember that one morning I got up and it was 23, but then it said feels like 9. I was like, oh, great. That's the type of weather where it honestly doesn't matter what you put on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're going to feel it. You're going to shiver. It's just, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Just got to embrace it.
Yeah, you do. I'm okay with the 4 seasons, but honestly, I would love to skip winter, but it just is what it is. Yeah, I would love to go from fall to spring to summer.
You gotta get a second house somewhere.
Yeah, and I like winter in very wintry places. Let's put it that way. When I experienced winter in Denver and Vail, that was okay.
Yeah.
This is how you do it. Winter activities, things look pretty all the time. The snow is actually very well kept.
So you want to choose winter when you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, just pop in and pop out.
Yeah.
It was great. It was lovely. And it's also a winter town, so it fully manages it well. You see the ski slopes. It was beautiful.
Fireplace.
Everywhere.
Coffee.
Literally went to the restaurant and sat outside below the slopes because outside was warm because it's set up to entertain in that type of environment.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful. I don't hate winter. I just here it's just meh.
But it's I can't imagine a warm Christmas.
I had one. It was nice. Let me be.
It's just not traditional, how.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the scape.
There are no warm Christmas movies. I always said that Christmas movies are seasonist. They don't.
They are. I mean, they're a few, but no.
Most of them is snow coming down.
Yeah, because was Home Alone? Were they taking a trip went to a hot place, or they were just going to family somewhere else?
I think they were. I can't remember because they left the kid about 3,700 times.
Yes, but I don't know why I felt like they were flying to take a summary.
I think that maybe was the case. I remember the one where the mom had to go back and she was on the truck freezing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but most movies are set in a wintry, cold, snowy setting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But, we surviving.
We did. We are, and we survived these snowstorms here lately. So let that be the last time. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you. And we hope our real lovers are staying warm, especially this one who wrote us a review. 5-star review. Great podcast from Queen Bree. I wrote a review a long time ago, but I'm updating it. I love y'all real bad. Been a part of Real Lover Gang since the beginning. I just had to let y'all know that it's very frustrating that y'all keep the updates from us. I say this with love. Y'all got to do better with keeping us in the loop with the updates.
Fair.
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 You know, this is what we talk about in relationships. You got to communicate.
That's it.
You let us know.
Yeah.
And then we'll improve on that.
That's right. We will hold ourselves accountable after you held us accountable. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
We're going to do better.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you from
That's
the beginning.
it.
You see, that's what I said. When you got history built up, you've been here from the beginning. We can have those type of conversations, and I appreciate you for that.
I love that. Look at, we're so mature.
Well, look at us.
We're so mature.
Queen Bree, we appreciate you.
Most people wouldn't have even said that or shared that, but we receive, and we are going to do a better job with that for sure.
Yes, we
There's
are.
plenty of really, really good updates coming, so
yes,
stay tuned.
it is. All right, Rhonda, you ready to hop into our real love scenario?
I am. Let's get into it. This week we got a bit of a doozy here, so let's just jump right on in. She says, I recently discovered your show and I think it's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Says, I'm navigating quite the messy emotional journey and I need your help. A year ago, I went through a painful separation from a remarkable individual after a 5-year relationship. We shared a career path, and during a challenging time when he lost his job, we ended up working together. We decided to leave the company and go back to school. However, as I was nearing the end of my studies, our relationship came to an end. 10 months later, I began dating someone new who seemed amazing but was going through a divorce. Our connection was complicated. He often disappeared, yet we found ourselves rekindling our relationship time and again. Unfortunately, my situation worsened when I lost my job at a new company, prompting me to reach out to my previous employer, where I ended up working alongside my ex, who is now in a new relationship. Seeing him in a new happy relationship has been incredibly painful, especially since I've been struggling to find stability in my own life. Despite this, we recently became intimate outside of work and I've developed feelings for him again. However, he remains committed to his current partner and won't leave. All of this is making it difficult for me to detach fully. Adding to my emotional turmoil, I still deeply miss my previous partner, the divorcee. I'm seeking practical steps to navigate this messy situation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for writing in.
Yes.
But
at least
does he stay committed to his current partner?
Tracy, actually, I've got a question right off the top. Is it really?
Does he stay committed to his current partner? I don't know.
I don't know if we call this a commitment. It's a little loose, don't you think? I mean, at least you called it exactly as it is. Messy is the best word for this.
Yes.
Ooh, it's messy on every angle.
Yes, it is. Where you want to start with this? This is a lot.
It is. It's got so many layers to it. I think we should start really from the top, which is, this is a person who is trying to navigate their feelings after a breakup. Like really starting there, because to me, that's the core as to why all of the subsequent things are happening, why the situation itself is messy, because you haven't kind of dealt with the reality of what happens when you go through a breakup, especially after being with someone for 5 years, right? And it sounds like they were a great person, but perhaps things just didn't work out. What do you think? Because she asked for practical steps. Mm-hmm. What would you say is maybe like the biggest single piece of advice when you break up with someone, like for you? Like step one. Step one. Ooh. Now single. Where do we go next?
Well, that's a good question. Oh man, I gotta think about that. Do you have one out the gate? Out the
gate, the first thing I would say is probably the most important practical step after a breakup is just to sit still. Just to sit still. Like, try not to do much of anything that involves other people, including your ex, including new people. Just sit still and just sit in that, because it's a moment, and we've referenced this episode so many times because we really want all of you, if you're new here, to go back and watch it. We have an episode called Leaving and Grieving.
Yep.
And we give a lot of very practical steps and really talk about our own experiences with breakups and like what we learned from them, what we should have done, what we did well. But that time is so hard that trying to make decisions, especially involving other people, can just be hard. It can be very messy and things can get out of whack super fast because your emotions are probably raw and you probably shouldn't trust them all that much at that time. So people say the easiest way to get over one is to get under another. Not for real. That's a surface. It's a surface recovery, or what is that called? Rebound. It's a surface rebound, but it's not real. So to me, single most important thing immediately after a breakup is just to like sit still, and that really means to just sit in it, experience it, feel it, process it, reflect, but sit still. Sit still.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah. That you just gotta, because you have to let it. I think you said the right thing is that you have to let it run its course, essentially. Like you need to go through the grieving. You need to go through all the thoughts that are going to go through your mind.
Yeah.
And the sitting still part is important too, because you don't need to act on a lot of those emotions that you're going to feel, because that's what you're going to be tempted to do. But I can imagine, especially in a situation like this, that it's really tough. Especially, well, let me ask you this. Do you think that, well, I can't say everybody because there are no absolutes, but have you experienced messing up a relationship with a good person?
I've experienced making some mistakes in a relationship with a good person. And we both were making mistakes. But messing it up like I was the cause why it all fell apart, no, not necessarily. But yeah, definitely making mistakes in a relationship with a good person.
Got you. Okay.
Making bad decisions. For sure. For sure. Once. That's just one time.
Yeah.
And it's a weird feeling to feel because of that feeling of like, this is a good person. We tend to feel okay about treating people who we don't necessarily deem as good people poorly, or people that did something to us. We like, well, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like you can do that with a lot more confidence than with someone where you're like, he's so great. And I just like, I shouldn't do this. You have, I think it's more guilt associated to it and like shame probably associated to it. Still something charged it and brought you to making that bad decision, like your own lapse in judgment or whatever. But yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
Yeah, I've been there before with my ex, who I've talked about on this show, or I talked about it on this show before. But she was a great girl. She was great. And in the moment, I thought I was making all the right decisions and concerned about all the right things. But then later down the line, I realized I wasn't.
Yeah.
And that guilt ate me up inside and made me want to like try to, I didn't even know if it was right for us to try to talk again or to be in a relationship, but just to try to make up for essentially what I did, the guilt. I wanted to get back together to prove that I changed and all that stuff like that. So I can only imagine how she is feeling when she says she was with a remarkable individual.
Yeah.
Because so many, even her describing that, I know in her mind she probably feels like she messed it up. Right. And she did something in order for the relationship not to now be in the state where they're together.
Yeah.
So that pressure that you put on yourself when you're in those situations is crazy.
It is.
And it can drive you crazy.
Exactly. And that's why that whole sitting still thing is so important, because you really do have to like really kind of compartmentalize and figure out what happened. And let me also just throw some caution to the wind. Sometimes you're actually not going to find all of the answers, even in your own rewind. It's a lot of time. 5 years is a lot of time. So you may not even remember all the conversations, all the things, or you may not remember them accurately. Your mind may just tell you a particular thing happened. Sometimes you do want to like jump and try to seek answers from the ex, like that's why I said sitting still even from that person is helpful, because it can lead to, well, no, you were doing this and you were doing that, which can be hard. Even if you were responsible to some degree for the breakup, it can be hard to heal when you are constantly being blamed or told you did this, you did this, you did this. I think by the time you truly break up and you've gone your separate ways, you have a good sense of their feelings on it, like what they think really happened. And I don't think it's smart, at least not early on, to try to go back and revisit it and get answers from them, because I just don't always think it's conducive to your process of like healing from it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the thing people understand is a lot of times when somebody is giving you an answer to your question when it comes to closure, they don't even really know what the issue is.
Yeah.
Sometimes we make decisions and we think it's one thing, but then after we have had time to digest and think about it, we realize it was something completely different.
Yeah.
So you could be getting an answer for somebody for closure that ain't even a real answer.
Right.
And then you're basing and dictating all your future actions off of this thing that is false. I've done it in this situation I just described where I told my ex, we're breaking up because of this, because of this, because of this, because this, and you did this wrong and this is wrong. And then months later, I come back and realize, oh, yeah, none of that stuff really matters.
Right.
But I was able to apologize to her and let her know, like, hey, what happened years ago, I'm sorry. And I hope that didn't affect, like, how you look at yourself or how you look at life moving forward, because all those things that I was saying was wrong wasn't really an issue. I was just at a point to where I was immature at that moment and didn't know any better. So when you're going out there looking for closure, you need to recognize that you might not even be getting the answer that's actually the correct answer as to why they are choosing to move on. You might get an emotional answer too, because the breakup needs to happen on both sides, which means both of y'all need to sit down.
That's right.
Not just the person who got broken up with.
Yeah.
The person who broke up with the person needs to also sit down and take some time and digest what actually happened.
Yeah. And I think it also, when people jump to other people quickly, or before they feel really good about doing it, because time can fluctuate on like when someone really feels ready. And so I don't want to dictate a time like you should give yourself a year, you should give yourself 6 months. I do think you should give yourself a reasonable amount of time to get into the pattern of just like enjoying yourself by yourself, and being able to function with other people without jumping back to that. You ever talk to someone and it's like they are definitely still trapped there because they'll find a way to make the conversation about that no matter what. It's like, I love your jacket. It's like, oh my gosh, this jacket is so crazy because my ex, he loved this jacket. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you could be like, what you cooking
Stuck
tonight?
in time.
I ain't cooking nothing, child, since we broke up. I don't even cook no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you can get past being that way, because it's real that's just, it's become a part of your life. But once you can get past that, I think that's when it's potentially a safe time to try to explore.
You know what somebody said today that I like?
What?
They said, I'm not the tissue for your issues.
Ooh, that's good. I love a little alliteration. That's good. I'm not the tissue for your issues. I'm not to use that. I can't
be coming out here crying. They listen. Especially for avoidable stuff that I've been told you shouldn't been doing. No, not the tissue for your
You
issue.
better call Kleenex. They've been holding us down for years. That's
but
who you
do
need
not
to
call me.
I'm good. But yeah, I think, and when you don't do that, right, you wind up creating dependency. You wind up not being able to be healthily dependent on someone, and the healthy way to depend on someone is interdependency, right? So if you just hop monkey around, you swinging from one person to the next person to the next person, you don't know how to function without people.
Do you think rebounding can be part of the process?
Yes, I do think rebounding can be a part of the process. I don't think it should be a part of the process. No, I don't think it should be, but can it be? Yeah, like it can. It's a temporary feeling. It's like asking.
But sometimes you feel like you need that.
Yeah, it's like it's like taking a shot after a hard day, right? Like, can that knock the edge off? Sure. Can it absolutely be like, whoo, damn, like it can absolutely do that. But is alcohol really the best choice for the process? No, it's a temporary fix. Once that gets out of your system or whatever, you probably gonna go back to feeling maybe even worse, because alcohol brings about grogginess and like just like maybe the next day now you're about to have another bad day because maybe that was one shot that led to 2 shots that led to 3 shots, and now tomorrow morning you're going to have another bad day because you're kind of drunk and the work is still working. You know what I mean? So maybe a healthier way is to take a run, take a walk, something that's good for you biologically, also help you clear your mind. So can it be? Of course.
You're so positive.
Yeah, I mean,
you're so positive.
It can be, but I'm again, lived experience, y'all. It feel good for the moment be like, I don't care nothing about that. Oh, like he can go to hell. This right here. And then you be like, damn. Or you regret who you rebounded with. You like, I can't believe I gave him some. In my right mind, I'd have never slept with this person.
He was like, all that waiting finally paid off. And then he hit you up for another time and you like, nah, that was a mistake.
That was a mistake, yeah. So I think, here's the thing. I do think that if you want to have that moment, right, like that you just having fun, I think you need to get there when you're not emotionally raw. Because what'll mess around and happen is your stupid ass would be falling in love with the rebound.
Yeah.
See, you ain't just in there getting what you're supposed to be getting and going.
See, the thing is that, like, we need, like, don't you know when you driving and you get pulled over, they have a breathalyzer for your alcohol content? We need, like, an emotionalizer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we've all driven home.
That's good.
We've all driven home a little tipsy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, made it home. But there's a lot of people who have it. So basically what I talked about last episode, which was it's about the odds, not because there's no absolutes, but if you want to give yourself the best odds of getting over your situation or getting past your ex and all those things, is that you want to make sure that your emotionalizer test when you blow in it is lower than the amount that it need to be.
That's right.
It's at a normal amount and not
right.
heightened.
It's so, yes, this. Get this. Get this. Because those raw emotions, I'm telling you, been there, done that.
I'm going to do that for Relationship Restore. We're going to TM for anybody who trying to copy it. We're going to create a test on a relationshiprestore.com, and it's going to be called the Emotionalizer.
Take this test to see if you're ready.
If you're about to make a decision, take that test first and fill it out. Are you willing to punch a hole in the wall? Have you thought about it? Is
the person you trying to rebound with your ex's family member? Okay, best friend or see these are things. These are things.
You're gonna fail that test and we're gonna say, whoo, nope, emotions too high.
Here's some suggestions on what you should be doing right now. Here's a local church. Here's a little yoga class you can go to. You need to go release that somewhere else. Here's some rage rooms in your area. Get that thing out a different way, because I'm telling you, the last thing you want to do is get into an entanglement with a rebound, because usually the rebound is someone you would never actually truly be with. Maybe physically, but not otherwise. Not otherwise. So I get it. It's enticing, but we really want y'all to make better decisions so you can have good relationships with others, but really also with like yourself, because you're nothing to anybody else if you're not anything to you. And you know, the worst of it, right? Like when you really think about a rebound, she then gets into one, right? Yeah. Like give or take, she gets into one with a man who is going through a divorce. So he's now out here moving and shaking, emotionalizingly failing.
You want to know one thing that I'm trying to figure out here, which she did not put in here.
Okay.
She said, we decided to leave the company and go back to school. However, I was nearing the end of my studies.
And they broke up.
Our relationship came to an end. But I wonder who
did what?
Who initiated?
Who did the breaking up?
The breaking up. Our relationship came to an end.
Yeah. No intel. Just says that it was over. It was over. Yeah. It makes me, okay, here, let's use some context clues. She called this person a remarkable person. Now, she could be just extremely mature and calling a person remarkable even if they did something that caused the breakup.
Sounds like she was the one that broke up.
That's what I'm, it sounds like that she got broken up with, you mean?
No.
That she did the breaking up. I was thinking the other way. Because
I think, all right, give me your reason for why you think.
Because she's calls him a remarkable person. That doesn't mean that she couldn't have done the breaking up, but it makes me think that like he was great, and he broke up with her because of something that, I don't know, she did maybe. That's why. Because usually I feel like if a woman gets treated badly and a relationship has to end because of that, they wouldn't necessarily classify the person as like good or great or remarkable
in the moment.
Yeah.
But she's writing this years later.
True.
So I think that she was the one who broke up with him.
Okay.
Because I've been in that situation. Because like I said, I've talked about my ex on the show, and I said she's a great girl. She was great. I was just immature. I was young. There was nothing wrong with her at all. If you asked me right when I broke up with her what I thought, it probably would have been a different story.
Yeah.
But when you look back, maybe date a few different people after you rebound and stuff like that, and you realize like, oh man, all the issues that I thought were issues aren't even that big of a deal. And now this person was actually great. And I kind of messed that up.
Yeah.
That you could refer to that person as like just being an amazing,
Yep.
you see him in just such a great light.
True.
So, you know,
it's
way,
very possible.
Yeah.
Here's another context clue for me, that it bothers her to see him with someone else. That also makes me potentially think that he was like, I'm straight. I'm moved on. Like I'm good.
But then also he slept with her, but still staying with his own joint. So that might be like, I mean,
yeah,
you cut it off, and I'm gonna give you something, you know, just to
show you what I still got it.
Yeah, but you can't have me. So I don't know, but
I actually have a personal story to share on that piece when we get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole accent rebounding with your ex.
Okay. Let's go to the next part.
Okay.
Something that you just don't do it. I've seen people do it, and I've heard a lot of stories. I know people personally did it. Dating somebody who just got divorced is just
going through
a divorce. Sorry, going through a divorce. It typically never works out really, unless you. And this ain't an encouragement, unless you was the one that they was cheating on with during the marriage the whole time. Then possibly it could work. Because I see how
messy just begets messy.
I've seen that work.
Yes, same.
To where they cheating in the marriage with somebody else, and then they leave the person they married and just end up marrying that person.
Right.
But if you wasn't in the situation at all and they going through a divorce and then you start dating them, not saying it can't happen again. Like I said, there are no absolutes in life.
Sure.
But the odds of it working out in the long term, I have not seen a lot of those situations.
No, because to me, it goes in that same bucket that she's in. Emotionally raw situation. Still have not left or grieved that situation. So anything that you're doing out here with other people is probably for a temporary fix. Even if the person's cool, even if you like them and y'all get along outside of the bedroom, it's still probably just not, they're not 100% focused and locked in on you. That this is probably just something fun to carry them from point A to point B, and it's not necessary. This is why, as she said, he would show up and disappear and show up and disappear. I bet because he probably was going through those waves of like, I need a little fun. But damn, my heart broken because I'm going through a divorce.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what's 5 desserts you like, Rhonda? Give me your top 5.
Okay, caramel ice cream.
Okay. Not mint.
Heck no. Ugh. Strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
Pineapple upside down cheesecake, specifically from Cheesecake Factory.
Wow.
Warm chocolate chip cookies.
That's good.
And key lime pie.
Oh, okay. That's good option. So let's say you had to choose one on that list.
Yep.
And you had to eat that for the rest of your life. But then for some reason, something happened to where you didn't have to eat that one anymore. Wouldn't the first thing you do is go out and try to explore some of those other ones on the list that you weren't able to eat for 5, 6, 10 years?
Yes, I missed them.
Yeah, right? So that's what I essentially see when it comes to people who get divorced or in relationships. It's like, I had this one thing that I was with the whole time.
Right.
I see other things that I like, but I can't touch it.
Yep.
And before I was in this relationship, I was able to touch all the things that I wanted. So immediately, as soon as I'm technically allowed to go out and touch other things, that's probably going to be the first thing I do because I couldn't do it before.
Right.
So the standard of what I'm going to end up touching don't gotta be super high.
It doesn't.
And it definitely ain't thinking about a long-term relationship when it comes to it. I'm just thinking about I couldn't do this before.
Yeah.
So now that I'm free, I'm going to do it.
Give me a little cookies. Give me a little key lime. Child, at this point, they ain't got to be freshly baked. I ain't had chocolate chip cookie in a long time. Give me a Chips Ahoy.
Give me a Chips Ahoy. I'll go to gas station, get one of the packs. Anything just to get something different.
That's it. And that's it. And so thinking that, as Dre said, no absolutes, but thinking about that, it's like, dude, you've got to be really cautious when you're going through these times in your life, especially when you're bringing a new person in. Like you said, don't make the married person the rebound, the person going through the divorce, the rebound, because come on, like they are in their own situation too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not wise. There's so many other things to do than to get hooked up in someone else's emotions and life and feelings when you're already trying to manage and process your own and potentially those of your ex, because they still kind of have their hooks in you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just mess on mess. And then we take the mess to now a whole new level, which is you go back to your old job. And I think potentially not realizing your ex also went back, because early on she said they both left that first job. They went back to school. And so it sounds like your ex went back to the job and then you went back to the job and the ex is there. And sometimes that exposure, right? Like, you may not even be thinking about a person. You may not even they're not on your mind, but then you see them. And it's like, whew. I mean, I'm sure we've all experienced this, where a person hasn't even entered your brain, and then you see them, and it's like,
well, this is a thing when people be like they date exes, or no, not date, but are friends with exes. Even like just say, hey, I'm friends with a real ex. Like, have you met their parents? Have their parents met you? Like, have y'all like actual real? That's your ex for real.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't care how, and I ain't gonna say how bad it ended, but exes have a special place in your heart. Like, I don't care what you say, whether it ended super bad or something, like, they have a special place in your heart because there were great times.
That's right.
There were really good times, and there are memories, times that you had with them that you can just be like, oh, that was a good time. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Like, so it's like being around them just at the most is like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm thinking of like my only ex, I have no issue with her. She has no issue with me. Everything's great. But if we were working with each other every day, not even saying that I'm not doing anything, but it would feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a whole nother layer to just them looking aesthetically pleasing, right? Because that you're going to see that all the time. You go to work right now. I'm sure there are women where you work that are nice looking ladies, but you don't know anything about them other than what you see.
Exactly.
Your ex come into the job. You not only know what it looked like and what it has on today, you know if it's still intact, and like from the last time, you know what it looked like without the clothes on. You know what it feel like. You know a lot of things, and your imagination, or that thing that Joan used to do, for those of us that are old enough to remember Girlfriends, that snatch back where you be like, oh, whoa, like I done gone back to that night. Yeah, you be in your office punching air.
And they know you. So they know, like, they'll say things that'll just be like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. Yep.
Let me tell you who would have left the job. I got to get another job.
There's a reason that y'all were together. You are attracted to them. So you can play with that fire if you want to.
Would not suggest it. Would not suggest it. So you get linked up with your ex. You get linked up with your ex because now you're at the job with him. And let me just say this again, lived experience. I have rebounded with my ex years later and made my ex a side piece. Like, so I was single, but he was not. And the complicated, very messy part of this story is that a big part of the reason as to why I was okay with doing this, even though we actually broke up because of infidelity, was a get back. I was doing it. I mean, definitely was attracted to him and all of that, but I was really doing it because the person he cheated on me with, Lord, should I even say this? The person who he cheated on me with became his partner. And so I said, watch this. Watch this. Yeah, watch this. And so yeah, so two can play that game.
So with women, do you want them to know you did it, or just doing it is enough?
It was just doing it was enough for me. Okay. There are women that want you to know. That definitely want you to know. But nah, I didn't need that.
Okay.
I didn't need that. I was okay with just being like, a hoe gonna be a hoe. Okay. That's really how I felt about it. That's legit how I felt about it. But again, we were really talking about the serious side of it, like the emotional side of it. This is a person that I was really with for some time and lived together and all of that. And so naturally, once you are even just doing the carnal act of having sex with the person, you do kind of fall back into some level of comfort with them, right? That can easily create a bigger problem, a bigger situation, a bigger, like, almost a falsehood of what's happening. Like, it's just like, oh, this is my ex. So you start almost forgetting all the reasons why you aren't together, and now thinking about, like, see, we still got a connection. Like, this still we still da 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 da. When it's like, no, not all the time. and probably not most of the time. I think it's icky, and this is again coming from someone who did it, so I can very honestly say that, like, I wouldn't suggest it. You know, even if it's you're doing it for like what I did out of this little retribution feeling, it doesn't feel good because, again, in my sober mind, not inebriated with drugs or alcohol, am I inebriated with my emotions, inebriated by vengeance, which is what that was at the time for me. If I were not inebriated by that, I would not be doing this. Yeah. I would not be making this decision because it's not smart. It's not good for me. It's not good for him. It's not prideful for me to be somebody's side anything, you know, and I know what it felt like when it was happening to me. It was breaking my heart. So that's why I say, when you like, would I want her to know? No, I wouldn't want her to know, even though she didn't give a damn about it when I knew. She didn't care, you know, but I don't want to be a part of hurting somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool.
And I think you're playing with fire too. Like, you never know people's emotions and reactions and how they get triggered by something, and they can go crazy
and unalive everything.
Yeah,
flip all this shit over. Yes, yeah, that can absolutely happen. So I love, though, in the beginning when you were like, is he really committed to the ex? I mean, to the current, because, you know, he's cheating on her with you. Do you think it's a crazy, I feel like I know what you're going to say, but do you think it's a crazy expectation, like, for her to say, like, he's not leaving the person? It's like, is that even something that y'all are talking about? Like, he's sleeping with you, but you are seemingly kind of mad that you want him to leave the current girlfriend and get back with you.
Theoretically, no, right? Doesn't make any sense. That's the expectation. But don't you know how they say, like, there's girl math?
Yeah.
There's also girl imagination. We call it princess syndrome or whatever we want to call it, to where y'all believe sometimes that when a man do things with you sexually, that he really, really, really like you a lot, and that he wants to make you his girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes that could lead your mind to thinking like, oh, we're good, things are fine, like, he really likes me, he cares about me, we cuddled after, or something like that, to where it's just like, for him, that was a moment. But he's like, nah, I'm good on you. It was good to have a blast to the past. And, you know, now I'm still with my shorty right now.
Going right on back.
So we good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And so when she says she's looking for practical steps, practical to me, when I hear that, I think simple, easy to do.
We can help you out with that for sure.
Easy peasy. We already gave you one, which we know that you didn't do that. Obviously, you didn't really sit still, but there's still time. There's still time for that. There's still time to just cut the ties and be disciplined, to just stop talking to the ex.
You can't be asking, how do I get the garbage off me if you staying in the dumpster?
Can't, baby.
You want the mess off you? Get out the mess first.
Yep. You have the power to do that. Nobody's going to pull you out the trash can. You can just get on out yourself. You can.
Stop talking to the divorcee, divorcee, whatever it is. And then your ex, I mean, I ain't going to tell you to leave your job or anything, because that's, that's your livelihood.
Yeah.
I would, if there is a comparable position at a different place with comparable income, I would say get out of that situation, because it's a constant reminder of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I don't know, brother, you say he's a remarkable man, but he slept with you when he got a girl. Yeah. So I would assume there is some probably manipulation type going on that he gonna probably put to work at work, because it's fun. Right? It's like, I got my ex, I'll flirt with her a little bit. I know she's feeling me. Like, even if she act like she don't want to talk to me, I'll keep prying, because I know what it is.
Right.
And then I go back home and, be with my shorty.
Be with my girl.
Be with my girl too. So it's like, being in that environment would be very tough. So try your hardest and try your best to distance yourself from the situation. Even if it's at work, if there's any type of barriers or requests for department change or desk switch or anything like that that can help you to separate yourself from that mess, I think would be the first step into digesting first everything, because you have to figure out why you are even in the state of mind of wanting to continue to like you went from the one dude to the divorcee, then like back to your dude, and then you said you were in and out with the divorcee too. It's like he was in, then came back out, then came back in, came back out. I don't know, maybe there's an attachment thing like that you have, that like you feel like you have to be with somebody, or you just really want it so bad. So I think there's a lot of inner work that has to happen, but it's going to be hard to do that if you're still entertaining all these situations.
Yeah, for sure. I think you should ask yourself two really strong questions, and easy questions, but they might be hard to answer. And so find the time to really sit with it, even if you write the answers down, write the questions and the answers down. First one is, what type of woman do I want to be when I think about love? Like, how would I describe her? What does she look like? How does she speak? What is that? What's that vision for me? When I think about like who I want to be, when I think about romantic love, am I kind? Am I considerate? Am I loyal? Am I faithful? Am I doting? Am I supportive? Am I sweet? Am I fun? Like, describe her. Put all of that down, and what that looks like, and what you would like for that to feel like. And then the second question is, am I her? Right? Like, check off or maybe bring down the words that you actually are, and then look at the difference between the two things. And when you think about the messy situation that you're in, because if you are staying in that situation and you're describing the particular woman you want to be when you are healthy and when you are in love, I can assure you that there are going to be some things missing. You're not being loyal, because the participation in cheating on somebody, you're participating in that. So no, do you have a vow to that woman? You do not, but honor would say that you are participating in something that is disloyal. So naturally making you disloyal, right? So really look at those two lists, look at the difference between those two things, and then take the time to figure out what you need to do to get to look like that woman that you described at the top. That will then start to create kind of a list of habits that you need to develop. If that's reading more, if that's spending more time with Dre and I on Real Life Scenario, or going back and looking at some old episodes to get some more insight, if that's putting yourself around women who are like that so they can tell you what they're doing, or you could just watch how they move and what they do. If that's finding some good homeboys, if you don't have them already, to be like, listen, I'm doing this, help me. Like sometimes y'all really gotta hear something from the people that we date. We gotta hear it from a man's mouth to be like, nah, that's you. You will never have your feelings hurt. Quite like when a child says something to you and when a man says something to you when you're a woman. If a man says to you, so you basically his slide. You basically his hoe. You'd be like, God damn. Women, we tend to coddle and package things like, well, I mean, I know you love him. And like, y'all really do have a connection. Your homeboy gonna be like, so you basically being your ex side chick, you getting demoted out here. That's crazy. You need a homeboy. I'm telling you, that's gonna be like, sis, that's not good for you. You look crazy. And we'll respect women that do stuff like that, truth be told. I don't care what he's saying to you. He don't respect you. Find all the resources and the tools that you need to figure out how to truly be the woman that you want to be when you are in a healthy relationship with yourself, but also a man. You know what I mean? Like, we really have to goal ourselves, like create goals to get to who we ultimately want to be. I want to be proud of myself. I want to be proud of the decisions that I make, whether I'm in a relationship or not. I don't want to think that miraculously this husband is going to come and all of a sudden my shoulders are going to get straight and I'm going to have my head focused. I need to be her before I meet him. I need to be very proud of the woman that I am before I meet him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be ready. And so you can't waste your time with things that aren't going to be fruitful to you. Because what happens if your husband is in the office too? He just a couple cubicles down, and if you think your coworkers don't know, I'm here to tell you they probably do. Because you can't really hide these types of things. You could really be messing up an opportunity because you're so focused on being less than the woman that you really want to be. That's it. Like, you gotta be tough with yourself and have tough conversations with yourself to say, like, I'm not okay with this and this isn't who I want to be. If you were looking at yourself across the room, would you be like, I like that. I think that's cool that I'm still sleeping with my ex who's in a new relationship and hoping that the man who's going through a divorce would come back around because, well, I enjoyed my time with him. Nah, you'd be looking at her like, girl, you are so messy. So look in that mirror and say, girl, you are so messy. Stop.
It's like,
Stop.
say it with me.
Girl, you are so messy.
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the advice right there. That's the practical steps right there. And I can tell you from a man's perspective, he don't want to be with you. None of them want to be with you.
No.
They enjoy their time with you. They have fun. But as far as a long-term relationship, if that's what you want, that's not what they want. No. And I feel like we need to, if we know we want a long-term relationship, we need to start making that the requirement and making that the bar. And any person who doesn't want that is not your person. So it shouldn't even get any thought of whatever. It shouldn't even get further than that. No matter what they say to you, no matter how they treat you, no matter how they make you feel when you're with them, all that stuff, if they can't commit to you, then it's not real. For something long term. Now, if you understand what it is and you're okay with what it is, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But if you want something serious, you want someone to build with, and they're not even willing to commit to you and only you, then it's a non-starter. It's not even worth it. And also, where your mind might be at, to where if you feel like you fumbled the bag or messed up a situation, I've said this before. These people aren't rare. This man's cheating on cheating on his girl with you. Like, I'm sure he's remarkable in whatever ways you think he's remarkable, but he is not the only man on earth. There are so many people out here. Even if you messed up, take the time, digest it, figure out where you may have messed up, what things went wrong, and then you go out back into the world and you apply those things that you learned to find the person you ultimately want to spend the rest of your life with. Let me tell you something. People have been through worse. There are people who've been to jail for 20 years, 30 years. That's really disrupting your life. And they still came out and found a way to live, found a way to find jobs, found a way to grow. Some people are even millionaires after coming out of prison. Like, and I know that's not a relationship, but I'm saying that's an event that really majorly disrupts your life. It's like, stop dating a person who, from all accounts of what you describe, is cheating on his girl with you. It's like, you can find another one of those.
Easy. see why you need guy friends? My man, thank you. Get you one of these. It's a chicken salad. Okay, get you one of these, please. We hope we were able to help you, sis.
For sure.
And now, no judgment. This is a non-judgment zone. But as I said in our last episode, or maybe the one before that, a part of helping you restore your relationships is not just coddling you through bad decisions. It is saying with love, with tough love, that we got to do better. We got to do better. And as our real lover who wrote in said, you saw us accept accountability at the top of this episode for something that we want to do better at. We're gonna hold you accountable as well. That's what we're here for. So we hope that we were able to help. Please provide us with an update. We want to hear one, and
we'll share
it. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We'll give you the updates. And if you want to write in because you have a real life scenario, go to our website and click the contact button and write into the show or any of the shows on the network. We would all love to help you. Follow us on social media. I'm at Ronnie Cakes.
That's Dre Smith.
And at Relationship Restored. We'll see you next time.
Peace.